I had my best week in quite some time, making $5,500 with just 1 to 2 trades per day, all green, and just stacking it over the long term. I want to go over each setup individually, and you'll see the commonalities that they all have and why they all fit my plan. Except for Friday, you'll see some out-of-the-box trades, I guess a little bit, but at the end of the day, they all fit my VWAP strategy. So you can see here, for the most part, Monday through Wednesday, nice and clean of just one trade, and one trade. Thursday was a little up and down of just trying to scalp some of it back, but also piecing myself out of trades is going to make it look like multiple trades because it's not 5 trades. But then also on Friday, I did take 2. So overall, just simple, right? Less trades, more money. That's really the common theme. We can go back to all my trades elements here and you'll see the more I trade, the less money I make. Let's start from the beginning. On Monday, all these trades were taken on stream on AceFX TV. So if you're not a member and you want to take these trades with me, make sure you sign up for a free trial. You can always tune into that, as well as get access to the course and the strategy that I teach, that these setups we're going to see here. But on this Monday trade, I think I maybe have a better markup, I thought, but maybe not. Let me go to Monday real quick. Monday, let me see the 15-minute markup. There we go. So there's Monday's trade. And again, I made videos about all these days individually, so if you want to go back and see even more detail on them, make sure you go and find that. But it's really just a break of the New York VWAP, right? Buyers are back in control for the first time this morning on a break above New York. The left side here is showing the 15-minute chart saying, well, I'm actually not bearish today, so that's why I'm not chasing these shorts early in the morning, because we're actually bouncing off on the left side that 15-minute overnight VWAP, which is my trend, really where I want to find my trending moves to repeat from or return from. So once we get a pullback down to that level, I'm looking forward to just look to bounce and continue that trend, which is overall bullish bias. But the keyest part about this one is not getting, first off, induced into the shorts, right? Because there are some lower day VWAP breaks over here telling me maybe sellers are in. But again, what did I just say? The trend is actually bullish on the 15 minutes. So why do I believe that we're going to move lower and cut through this VWAP? I don't. It probably doesn't want to happen. So that's why we're not chasing the shorts. And then stop loss placement is everything on this one, of giving it all the room it needs to breathe, of building these higher lows, right? Just because we're going to drawdown, it's still making higher lows. We didn't break for a new low a day yet, so I still want to be long until we get a new low. Trading from mid-range to the top of range. Let's go to Tuesday. Well, this is the same Monday markup. This is on Tuesday. Same idea a little bit, not as bearish at the open, but same thing. Of following these higher lows. Buyers are in control. Higher high, higher low. Now this is a bounce play off New York VWAP. Now if you've seen the AceFX course, Futures 2.0, you'll see that I don't recommend trading the first break of opening range high, which are these 15-minute horizontal lines, the first 15 minutes of the day. Reason being that we don't often run from there and sustain a healthy move. So I don't want to get caught chasing up here at a bad buy price. So the fact that I'm in before that first break even occurs, right? You can see we didn't break out of it yet. Coming back into drawdown wasn't too surprising because, yeah, there's the first break. I don't think those normally want to run. So the fact that it came right back down is kind of on par for how I'm thinking. But again, you give it that stop loss at a new low a day. As long as we don't make a new low a day, I want to be long. Buyers are in control. Let me ride this 15-minute trend. We just saw Monday was bullish. We're carrying the bullish momentum into this Tuesday. Let's keep going until we get told otherwise with new information. And then we get another higher low. This is the bounce off New York VWAP, and this is the second break, right, of opening range high from this one back here. And that's the time it's ready to move for that 1R move. So that's why I don't like to chase that first one. I like the second one because that's normally when it moves. So maybe the note on this was maybe I did get in a little bit early. But I want to be a buyer. I really like the way it was holding New York, and I can get a good stop loss at the low. So it doesn't make it a bad trade that I got in before the break. But I had to suffer some more drawdown or more time in the unknown. And that's fine. It's worth the risk in case this does want to move higher from this first break, because it does happen sometimes, just not very often. Now let's go to Wednesday's trade. This was a great example of not to do something, right? This X down here of not chasing the shorts. Very similar to this Monday. If I'm not looking for shorts here on this break outside, first of all, like I just said, first break of open range low often doesn't run. Just like the first break of open range high doesn't run. So I don't want to sell it there for that reason. And number two, just like Monday, I'm not actually bearish. Look at this 15-minute above every VWAP you can imagine of start of week, previous days New York, and today's daily. So all VWAPs are pointing towards the upside, that buyers are in control. And again, it's sitting at that daily VWAP, which is where I want to find moves from. So I'm still holding long bias until told otherwise, until I get more structured to the downside of continuous lower highs and lower lows. So that's why you don't chase that short. Now the long is mid-range, not my favorite. but I really like the way the 15-minute was setting up, as you can see with these pins to the downside and buyers closing us above the daily. It was, again, worth the risk to take a mid-range long with a stop loss at low a day. As long as we don't get back below this New York VWAP and make a new low a day, I want to be long, because look at that 15-minute trend. Looking at all these VWAPs below me as support, let me trade this to the top of range. I didn't get out at the very top here. I traded it level to level from mid-range to top of range, as I teach it in Futures 2.0, as you'll see me take them on stream. So everything was pretty identical to this Monday of trading mid-range, but I really like that 15-minute trend, and I'm going to get out of it at the top of the range. It's the same thing on this day. Now let's go to Thursday, where it was a little bit different. I missed the early longs, clear longs, and maybe we could argue it, maybe not. But this is the first break of opening range high. Doesn't really run very far. Small little pullback, but then look at the second break of it. Clearly that's the one that runs, which is also why I say I don't like the first break. Hopefully you guys are catching on to that one as well and not getting induced into chasing those. But we just have a drifter of a day. No pullbacks to my strategy that I think are sufficient that I want to get involved in. So I just got to wait for it to pull back to my key levels of the New York VWAP and opening range high. Clearly opening range high is well below us. Doesn't look like we're going to get a pullback to there. But we're right off the New York VWAP. If you could zoom in even more, I have an anchor to the high of day, right? High of day VWAP back here. Notice how buyers don't take it here, right? So buyers aren't technically 100% in. I really do like the hold of this New York, but buyers aren't 100% back in, but they're clearly a bullish trend today. So I want to be a buyer. The safest play would be when buyers step back in on the high day VWAP break, telling you that they're 100% back in, and you get a stop loss below all that structure, right? Because as long as we hold these higher lows, I want to be a buyer. So you let it build a higher low, another higher low, another low. It just takes forever. I did not hold this thing all the way over here. Just a markup of what the trade could look like and how it plays out. Out of impatience, I got out of it somewhere in the middle because it's taken a while. That we're getting these higher lows underneath us, but we're not making that higher high. Doesn't mean it can't, doesn't mean it won't. It's just not moving at my speed that I would like, but the market doesn't care about me or you. So we just have to read and react what's happening. Yes, it's still bullish on the bottom. Yes, I still want to be a buyer, but to be honest with you, I didn't want to be in the trade anymore. I'm like, this is just not how I thought it would move. I thought clean bounce off New York, break of high day, let's go make another new high. But trend kind of slowed down and maybe it used all its gas in the tank in this first move. Now we're kind of just fizzling out, moving sideways. I don't think it made a new high day that day. It was really just out of gas. It wasn't a day to be a seller, but longs didn't really feed on into the afternoon. So it was really just a take what I can get. I'm up on the week. It's a Thursday. Let me just get off the desk. It's 12:45. I don't need to hold on to this any longer. Then we go to Friday. This is the trades that look a little bit different from what you normally see me take. But again, let me break them down. I have a video on most of these trades, I believe, on this YouTube channel. But the longs here at the open definitely look good with higher highs and higher lows. The blue VWAP is our New York today because we're on the electronic trading hours, so I can see that pre-market price action. That it definitely probably would be a long signal normally, right, with these higher highs and higher lows to start. And like I'm saying on the 15-minute here, we're above the daily VWAP. Very similar to Monday and Wednesday where I'm looking for longs. The reason I wasn't was playing with another VWAP, which is the previous day's New York. You can see here in blue. Since we rejected that so cleanly and we even have a start a week even higher than that, we're not really above every VWAP like we were on Monday or Wednesday. Let me go back to that real quick. Notice how on Wednesday here on the left, we're above all three. So clearly buyers are in control across the board. Today on the Friday, we're only above that black daily. So not buyers in 100%, they're just above that. But they're below the other two. So it's kind of conflicting of it's not 100% control of buyers. I could see some sellers. What do I do? So the more I just saw this fail to break outside the open range high, right? Notice the first break of open range high didn't run. It came right back down to the middle. And sellers actually take control of the New York VWAP. It is definitely a tougher trade because I'm fighting that 15-minute, which I don't want to do. But again, I thought it was worth the risk because at this time, this is on NQ. ES was already below its New York VWAP, kind of playing the same idea. So I put the risk here on NQ, saying, let's see if we can go trade back to this daily VWAP. And then we just trade it level to level. When I'm trading mid-range, especially kind of fighting the trend like this, it's mid-range, stop loss at the high. Because if it breaks for a new high a day, all right, yeah, buyers are in control. Look at that 15-minute. We're moving higher. But I'm trading it to the bottom of the range, right? I got out a little bit sooner than that when I got my 1R because I am fighting the grain a little bit. I don't need to hold on to this thing forever. If I can get a 1R move out of it, I'll take it. But that was the first trade. Now I'm playing with some risk. I'm up on the week. I don't know if I even had any losing days. No, I did not. But then we have this later trade. So notice how it does come down, but it's not fully a bearish day. Kind of like I was saying, I was hesitant on the shorts earlier. It bounces right off of that daily VWAP. Same thing I bought it off of on Monday and Wednesday. So we're playing with a lot of VWAPs this week, it seems like. But really, it's the same core three that we're always playing with. But I take a quick scalp long. Hopefully you can see it next to my camera here. Of a long and a start of a new 15-minute candle. That's also a key part of it. It's 3 minutes into it. But notice how 3 minutes into it's just been all buyers. Right off of that daily VWAP, right? This is electronic trading hours, so you can see it on the 15 and the 1. That I'm not really bearish on the day. I was just kind of scalping it down, seeing that we were rejecting this VWAP above us. I could definitely see it wanted to be a bullish day. So the fact that we're at the daily, I don't really want to sell it down there because that's not really the most bearish signal. But I scalped along back up to New York VWAP, right? Because once it gets there, it could definitely want to form a lower high and come back down because I am fighting the New York. Cardinal rule number 1, don't fight the New York because we definitely have lower highs and lower lows that I'm fighting that. But I'm playing with the daily VWAP in my favor. So it's a little bit tricky of knowing which ones to follow, which ones have more weight. What do I do here? It's not the cleanest trend. It's not the easiest trade, but it's worth the risk for me. I sized down on it since I was up on the week. It's 10:30 on a Friday. I'm not going to trade much longer than this. This would definitely be the last trade of the day. And I think it does come down. Let me go back to it real quick. On Friday, that was that. I don't even have it marked up. Shame on me. Didn't even mark up the other idea. So now, let's go to the live charts. How about that? Let's go to Friday, and you'll see what I'm talking about on the move down here, right? So I shorted it here, first of all. Let's rewind it here so we can get some levels. That first off, I shorted it, but then I longed it off the daily. Just in case it built that lower high and came back down, I got out. But it actually did come back higher. Why? Because that 15-minute was actually holding the daily view up like we were saying here. So the trend was kind of bearish, kind of bullish. I don't really want to fight that daily view up, and I never really want to fight the New York. So it was just a tough, quick scalp. Not married to the bias. I could definitely see this losing, but I could definitely see it winning with some bounce here. And we're able to make a little bit more money to finish the week. But overall, it was a great week. Feeling back in my flow, back to doing my journaling on TradeZilla, which is a huge part of it. If you need a coupon with them, the discount's always down below. But a solid week, solid start to the month before I move out in next week. But hopefully you guys found value in these days. These trades are making sense to you. The more you tune into these videos, the more you tune onto the stream of seeing how I take these trades off of the VWAP, how I read the 15-minute higher time frame. I have plenty of videos about it here on this channel. So make sure to tune into those. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Make sure you drop a like and leave a comment of what kind of videos you want to see. Again, all the daily recaps are out there. But I appreciate you guys. Trade safe, and I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.